Okay, well, good morning, everybody in Australia, and good evening to the people that are in the UK and everywhere else in the world. So we are interviewing basically doctors, athletes, and business people, business entrepreneurs, on why they are so passionate about NRF1 and NRF2 and these incredible products, and what they're actually doing to your body. So this morning I have the honor to actually interview Paul Haslam. I've actually met Paul now on 3 different occasions. And to give you a tiny bit of background, Paul has been an athlete since about the age of 14. He has had 2 Mr. Australia titles. He's represented Australia all over the world. And currently now he teaches PTs at different colleges he has in the past, and he also manages a lot of private clients. This man is in demand from some of the top athletes in Sydney. So good morning, Paul, and thank you so much for taking the time out to be here with us this morning.
Good morning, G, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you. So Paul, I'm just going to dive straight in because it's a 15-minute interview and I know your time is precious and everyone's on here is as well. So can you just tell me oxidative stress? Did you know what this was, or had you heard of it being an athlete? Did you understand what it was? Can you explain to the people in here whether you'd known what it was and what does it do to the body?
I certainly did. Oxidative stress, the production of free radicals, and free radicals really are quite damaging to the body, causing inflammation and a number of other things. They've been linked to certain afflictions and diseases, and basically the best way to control them currently was just through diet, making sure your diet was high in antioxidants, and that way you did your best to control the free radicals and hopefully reduce all those things, bad things that they do.
So what does it do? Like, why is it so bad? How do we get oxidative stress? Like, can we prevent ourselves from getting it?
No, we produce energy through oxygen. We consume oxygen that combines in our body to produce energy, and that's how we live, how we work. The more energy we produce, especially through exercise with athletes, then the more free radicals we produce. So it's inevitable. And when we're young, we can control those free radicals relatively easily. But as we get older, the ability to stop those free radicals forming or doing damage becomes a lot less, and we start to degrade. It's in our DNA, but that's the way it is.
So even if I wasn't an athlete, would I have oxidative stress? Is it literally from just food and the air we breathe? Like, is it everywhere? Is it inevitable that anyone, whether they're an athlete or not, would have oxidative stress?
Yes, it is. It's built in. It's really how we age in some aspects. So everyone has oxidative stress, and the older you get, the more oxidative stress you have, because our ability to control that is diminished.
Excellent. So with sorry a sec there. So with Protandim, when you had actually heard about Protandim, how did you feel about Protandim when you had heard that there was actually something out there that reduced oxidative stress? Hang on one sec, I think I've had to mute you there. There we go. So what did you think when you heard about this product that basically switched on the body's ability to create its own antioxidants?
Well, it's been the holy grail, really, to find the product like that. And at first I was skeptical. So I tried it for a little while, and it took a while for me to actually build up to a level in my system where it did start to work. But then when I found that my information through my years of training, that my degeneration in my spine was getting a lot of pain in that area through inflammation and arthritis, and when my antioxidant levels increased through the use of Protandim, my pain became less, and I was hooked.
Well, I remember meeting you, Paul, and it was back in October, and Graham asked me to come along and meet you. And you actually said to me, you know, I've been on your product now for 2 weeks and nothing really has happened, but I don't think it's probably going to happen because I'm such a clean eater. I don't have anything really bad coming in my system. That maybe it works for people that their diet isn't very good, but I'm a clean organic eater. So I don't think this is actually going to work with the pain I have. But I like Graham and I trust him, so I'll keep going. And I really encouraged you and Graham. We actually encouraged you and said, you know what, you've actually got a lot of oxidative stress because of being an athlete. And we encouraged you to actually take two. Take one in the morning and one at night. And I said, you know what, you've only been taking this 2 weeks and I know you're not 10. And we recommend a month for every decade that you're on Earth. So, you know, can you explain what actually happened? And then you even introduced the NRF1, which we will talk about in a minute. But can you actually explain then what happened when you realized and said, you know, I'm going to trust you and I'm going to double up on it?
Yes, well, in the past, I've been approached by a number of companies with these cure products over the years. And in my experience, what I've found is that for those people whose diets were not that great, some of these things actually work. But for those people like myself, whose diets were clean, they ate a range of vegetables and fruits, whole grains, that they didn't work as well. But when I started taking two for tandem, again, it was like turning a switch on. I literally woke up one day and the pain I was feeling, well, it didn't go completely, but it was reduced significantly.
Absolutely. So can you explain, like people say to me, okay, so big deal, you know, that it makes antioxidants and now we're not taking them, we're making them. Well, how important is it for glutathione production to happen in the body? Why do we need that to happen?
Well, glutathione, and again, that's everyone's known about glutathione for a long time. Trying to get our body to produce more of it has been very tough. You can't take glutathione orally; it'll break down. It's a simple peptide, just made of 3 amino acids: glycine, glutamine, and cysteine. Even injecting glutathione won't work because it can't pass the cell membrane. So what we need is something to increase the body's production of glutathione through another pathway. And this is what Protandim does. And athletes, the more energy you produce, the more antioxidants and the more glutathione you need to counteract those antioxidants. So athletes are prone, and really, when you think about it, there's a lot of athletes you see walking around who are you know, almost crippled. As they get older, they tend to age badly because of that, all the oxidative stress they've had over the years. So this is a way to not only combat that oxidative stress now, but I think to prevent maybe that aging process in the future as well.
That's incredible because I know a lot of athletes use a lot of supplements. You know, they do. They realize that they do need a lot of supplements. They need to have a clean diet, but they still have pain. And that is what I have been really excited about with this product because it's the next generation of wellness. Like, have you heard of other activators out there that are basically turning on proteins and enzymes in our bodies that were basically went dormant when we were 21, 22 years of age? Like, we're actually just switching on our cells for our cells and our body to heal naturally.
That's how I explain to you. We're helping our body to heal itself. This Protandim, however it works, I don't know. The synergy is there, and it just helps your body switch on these enzymes and increases the glutathione and other antioxidants, and off you go. Again, I don't know exactly how it works. I don't think anybody does, but it does work.
Well, I know for being on it for 3 years, what it's actually done for, we've had 10,000 people now in our team, customers that have actually been on the product. Yesterday it hit 10,000 in 3 years, which is so exciting to know that these people are looking after their health and activating. Now, I want to touch on the mitochondria because we brought out another product which is called the NRF1. So this is a different pathway that is there. So the NRF2 is for the antioxidants that Paul's been talking about, and the glutathione, and switching on our body's ability there. Now, the NRF1 is something that's just come out. It's the sister product, and this activates the mitochondria. Why do we want the mitochondria activated, and why is it so important for us, and especially athletes?
Well, they're the energy. They're the part, or they're called organelles, which is an organelle is like an organ of the body, and that organelle produces the energy. The mitochondria is where the energy is produced, where the oxygen is transferred into energy. The more efficient that mitochondria becomes, and the more efficient we become at producing energy. There's less stress on the body. It's like supercharging your car engine. You get more out of what you've got. So for an athlete, having a supercharged engine is going to make them perform better in whatever they do.
And what about recovery with these products, Paul? Like, would you say that like the recovery would be improved? Because I would have thought that you would have had a big depletion of glutathione if you're a triathlete, or if you're even a soccer player, you know, to have that burst of 1.5 hour of full on of sport. I would have thought that your body would have been quite depleted of glutathione and antioxidants afterwards.
Absolutely, and that's where they both come in and work together. They both help the liver regenerate more glutathione, and then that controls the more we exercise, the more oxygen we produce, the more antioxidants we produce, and more free radicals. More free radicals we produce. So we need more antioxidants to counteract that. So having these two products as a combo just increases the whole recovery syndrome.
So you recommend the duo? Because I do now. I say to people, I have energy that I've never experienced in my life since I've introduced NRF1. I don't even think I've had this. And it's not energy that I'm bouncing off the walls. It's energy of feeling a real well-being, of just, you know, I was up at 5 o'clock this morning walking the dog. My husband's like, why are you up so early? I said, I just feel good. I just feel like I've had my sleep, I've had rest, and I want to walk.
Exactly. I don't think you feel a buzz. People expecting that, it's not going to happen. But I think your ability to go longer is increased, and that's you know, as we get older, we tend to tire more easily. This just increases our endurance ability. Those mitochondria just keep working and working, and we can go longer and a little bit harder. I don't think you actually. I don't feel a buzz like a caffeine buzz, but I do notice that you know, I can work out longer and harder over time.
Excellent. And what would you say to people? Because I have some people that said, look, I've been on it for 3 months. I don't feel anything. So I think I've given it a go. I'm going to come off it now because I'm not feeling it. And I'm like, well, do you feel fruit and vegetables when you eat them? You know, what would you say?
No, you don't. Well, I think they would feel it more when they did come off. I think that's sometimes these feelings are very subtle. And if you're not in tune, I mean, I'm in tune with my body. A lot of people aren't. And so it might be hard to feel the benefit. But I would imagine that when they did come off, that's when they would feel a difference. That they would notice a difference between being on it and off it. So I would urge them to monitor their energy levels and their recovery if they did come off, and see the difference between the two factors.
Excellent. Well, that's a really great answer, because there's some people, and I know I probably would have been a bit stubborn and thought, well, I'll see whether it's really this that's working, you know. So Paul, look, we've spoken about NRF1, NRF2. I want to thank you so much. So do you believe that, as well as athletes, that basically everybody needs to be on Protandim? Now that you've seen this and you've experienced this and you've come across hundreds of supplements and products in your lifetime in the athlete world, what would your recommendation be for somebody that's listening to this for the first time?
Well, you don't have to be an athlete. The mechanism by it works I can notice as an athlete, if that mechanism is real, which it is, then it's going to help prevent a lot of things in the future. So really, I think its main job as prevention is probably more paramount than anything else. So as you go on, you'll actually, your body will hold up a lot longer, and you'll be freer and able to do things a lot longer than you normally would.
Wow. Well, that's it for me. That's all I need to hear, because I don't want to be a 70 and an 80-year-old walking around and not being able to do everything after you've worked all your life and thinking now you're hitting your heydays and all of a sudden there's nothing left. So I love that we're ending on that. I want to thank you so much, Paul, for the interview. We're going to stay